This video is going to be a little bit of a rant in response to some comments I've received. My name's Brian and you're watching Survival on Purpose. Okay, so welcome back to Survival on Purpose. Thanks for joining me. Like I said, this video is going to be hopefully not much of a rant, maybe a little bit of a rant in response to some comments, questions, or concerns that I've received, maybe criticisms, call them what you want. You can make that decision after I tell you what's going on. But there's enough of this particular subject addressed and questioned by enough people that I thought it was worth looking at. And so just to cut to the chase, I'll try not to ramble and I'll try to keep things calm and civil, even though it is a little bit on my nerves, but we'll talk about it. But basically the question is, why in the world would anybody but an idiot want to use one of these to baton wood or split wood instead of one of these? So I every knife review I do, almost a full tang fixed blade, I baton wood with it. And I have gotten in the past few weeks several comments and or questions of a slightly derogatory tone or downright insulting, that basically only an idiot would do that. Only an idiot would take his knife and beat it through a piece of wood and risk damaging his knife when the knife is not designed for that. This is designed for that. An axe is designed for splitting and chopping wood, and a knife is designed for carving. And you know what? Yeah, I can see that, okay? That is a primary design use for a knife. Although in recent years, many knives have intentionally blurred that line and have intentionally put themselves out there as being able to be used for chopping and carving. But we'll leave that alone. We're talking about this a regular knife, a good size, full size knife. I know Kephart and Sears, Nesmuk, whatever, I don't remember who uses which name, but I've read their books and I understand the philosophy that, you know what, you got different tools for different uses. I'm a plumber. I got a lot of different tools. I use them for different things. I'm not going to use a plunger to try to solder a piece of pipe. Obviously, I understand that. But I do want to point out a couple of things. I've been called a wannabe, a noob, somebody doesn't know anything about what they're doing, just because I made a decision that, you know what, when I'm reviewing a knife, showing the capabilities of a knife, I'm going to show batoning wood. Here's the reason, my reasoning behind that. And first of all, let me point out that I've never, ever once claimed to be an expert at survival. Never claimed to be a survival expert or anything else. So if you want to call me a wannabe, yes, I am a wannabe. I want to be better at these skills that we all practice and learn. So guilty, I'm a wannabe. Not an expert. Never said I was, never claimed to be. So there you go. So I'm starting to rant. Sorry, let me tone it back down a little bit. So the purpose for, the reason I do baton test, if you're in a survival situation, which hopefully none of us ever are, but you have a much greater likelihood, in my opinion, of having a knife on your belt, possibly, that you might be able to use than an axe. Look, I carry an axe with me every single time I go camping or go on an expedition into the woods, but it's usually not on my belt. It's usually in my pack. This is a Husqvarna axe. I've got a Wetterlings, I've got Schrade axes, I've got East S-Wing axes. I got axes, okay? And I know that that's the primary function. If I'm splitting wood pretty much in camp, I'm going to use an axe most of the time. Until the wood gets too small where I think it's not safe to use an axe. And I think in many cases when you get down to small kindling, you're trying to process some wood to get it dry or to build a fire. In many cases, I truly believe that it is safer and you have more control to use a knife and a light baton. Now, some of the stuff we show on video, test of knives, yeah, we're batoning knives through wood that is better processed with an axe. I get that, okay? But this is a test of the capabilities of a knife. This is not an example of how you should do everything you do in the woods at all times. That being said, I think, again, I've got a much greater chance of having a knife on me if I'm stuck in a survival situation than I am an axe. And statistically, more people get into survival situations on day hikes and expeditions, jaunts away from their base camp than they do while they're at the base camp. So statistically, you got a much greater chance of having a knife on you than you do an axe. At least I do, and most people I know do. If you're somebody that carries an axe on your belt everywhere you go, then more power to you, Paul Bunyan. That's all I can say. If that sounds insulting, I apologize. I don't mean for it to. The other thing I want to address on this video is If you're gonna insult me and call me names, that's cool, man. But if you use foul language, you're wasting your time typing, because it's not going to show up on my channel. I've got a spam filter in place to catch it, and if it doesn't, I catch it, I'm going to delete it. This is a family-friendly channel. I've tried my best to keep it that way from the very beginning. I don't use profanity on here. If you're going to use profanity in my comments, they're going to get deleted, dude. So that's just the way it is. Nothing personal. I'll be more than happy to engage in a discussion with you or an argument with you about techniques and or philosophies anytime you want, as long as you can use non-profane language. And if you know, guess who gets to make the determination whether it's profanity or not? I do, because it's my channel. Deal with it. That's the way it is. Man, I'm trying not to rant here. I really am. I really am. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. The last thing. You know what? All you guys or gals or whoever it is, because you know, usually you don't have a picture associated with your YouTube account, because you know, it's easy to blast somebody out and call them names and insult somebody when you don't have your picture out there. And you know what? I can take it, but what concerns me is we got young people and other people who are trying to learn and improve their skills. And when somebody comes on and just blows somebody out because they're not doing it the way you think they should do it, and they're you know what? If they're getting the results they need and if they're learning, what do you possibly have to gain by putting them down? You know, I mean, I see that all the time. I see on these young guys' channels, and somebody does something that doesn't meet the whoever guru you happen to be following the way they say to do it, and you act like they're a complete idiot because they're doing it a different way, even if they're getting a result that they're trying to get. So the bottom line is, we all got different ways of doing things, and some ways are probably better than others for achieving certain results. But at the end of the day, if you achieve the result that you're trying to achieve, then that's progress. And obviously we want to improve our skills. We want to get better. We want to learn to do things more efficiently, more effectively, and more have a better chance of success. But guess what? We're all at a different stage of progress here. So anyway, I started out trying to answer why I baton knives in the video, and that's why, because it is a video, we're not real world scenario, and I want to make sure what the capability of a knife is. I know what an axe is. Yes, to answer the question, the guy that says, you ever heard of a tool called an axe? Imagine that. Yeah, I've heard of it. Okay, so deep breath, Brian. Okay, please, I apologize for all the rant. I know I'm not supposed to respond to this kind of, it is the smart thing to do is not respond to this stuff and not to allow it to get to me. But there was enough comments and enough concern about why do people baton knives that, you know, and anybody that does is an idiot, that I thought, you know, it was worthwhile addressing. So please forgive me for ranting. I hope this has been at least explained my position on why I baton knives, because enough people seem to have questions that I thought it was worth addressing. I hope that answers your questions. I hope you feel free to engage in a discourse and dialogue with me or anybody else on the channel in the comments below. But I would encourage you to please keep the profanity out if you would like for your comments to be read, because otherwise you're wasting your time typing. So that's it. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for clicking the thumbs up if you like rant videos. Share with your friends. Support the channel with the Amazon links below. Don't forget my Facebook website, all that good stuff. There'll be links in the description below. Once again, my name is Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time.